R&B once looked like pure glamour. Spotlights, screaming fans, hit records, and stars who felt larger than life. But behind the fame was a hidden graveyard of addiction, scandal, and shattered legacies. These 10 legends weren't just singers, they were icons who changed music forever. Yet the same spotlight that made them famous also exposed their deepest flaws. Some overdosed, some went to prison, others lost everything. Fame gave them the world, then destroyed them. This isn't just music history, it's a warning. Are you ready to uncover the shocking truth about the stars you thought you knew? Rick James, the super freak who couldn't escape his own chaos. Rick James was the ultimate rock star of funk, loud, wild, and impossible to ignore. Born James Ambrose Johnson Jr., he exploded onto the scene in the late 1970s with his electric stage presence and unapologetic attitude. By 1981, his hit Super Freak made him a cultural icon, and his massive Motown deal, worth over $11 million, cemented him as one of the highest-paid artists of his time. But behind the leather outfits and platinum records, his life spiraled into darkness. Cocaine became his fuel, then crack, then nonstop parties that lasted for days. Surrounded by bodyguards, groupies, and drugs, James became unpredictable and dangerous. In 1991, he and his girlfriend held a woman captive during a 3-day drug binge, one of the most shocking scandals in music history. He went to prison, but even after his release, things only got worse. Financial ruin, lawsuits, mysterious disappearances around his entourage, his empire collapsed. By 2004, his body gave out. He was found dead with 9 different drugs in his system. To some, he's a funk genius. To others, a cautionary tale. A reminder that behind every beat and every performance, there is often a human cost too heavy to bear. Frankie Lyman, the teen idol who fell faster than he rose. Frankie Lyman wasn't just a star. He was a revolution. At only 13 years old, he became the first black teenage idol to top the Billboard pop charts with Why Do Fools Fall in Love? His angelic voice and boyish charm opened doors no young black artist had ever walked through. But while the world saw a superstar, the industry saw a child they could exploit. He was paid just $10 a week, while his records sold hundreds of thousands of copies. He didn't even own a guitar. He had to borrow one on stage. Then came the poison, heroin, at age 14. What started as curiosity became a nightly dependency. Within a year, his life spiraled. His group, the Teenagers, kicked him out. Record labels abandoned him. Desperate and broke, he sold his songwriting rights multiple times using forged documents, leading to lawsuits worth today's equivalent of $700,000. His personal life was chaos. 3 marriages by age 25, violence, infidelity, and constant instability. In 1968, he checked into rehab, hoping for a comeback. Instead, he was found dead on his grandmother's bathroom floor, a needle in his arm, just 25 years old. He should have been remembered as the boy who made America fall in love. Instead, he became the first warning that fame without protection is a death sentence. Whitney Houston, the voice that the world loved but couldn't save. Whitney Houston wasn't just talented, she was the standard. With over 200 million records sold and the iconic I Will Always Love You moving 45 million copies, she became the most awarded female artist in history. At her peak, she had money, beauty, and global adoration. But behind the glamour was a storm of pressure, loneliness, and heartbreak. Her 1992 marriage to Bobby Brown turned into a toxic cycle of fights, drugs, and chaos. Cocaine, alcohol, and prescription pills became her daily escape. At one point, she spent $12,000 a week on drugs. Dressing rooms turned into war zones. Her voice, once angelic, began to crack. Then came the fall. Despite earning over $100 million by 2006, she reportedly had less than $40,000 in her bank account. She pawned jewelry. She even sold a Grammy. Her daughter, Bobby Christina, grew up in the middle of the madness. In 2009, Whitney tried to rise again with I Look to You, debuting at #1. But addiction had already taken too much. On February 11, 2012, she was found lifeless in a hotel bathtub. Cocaine, Xanax, and alcohol in her system. She was just 48. 3 years later, her daughter died the same way. Whitney Houston's voice changed the world, but the world couldn't save her. Ike Turner, the man who invented rock and roll and destroyed himself. Ike Turner was a musical genius and a monster at the same time. His 1951 track Rocket 88 is often called the first rock and roll song in history. As band leader of the Ike and Tina Turner Revue, he built one of the most explosive live acts the world had ever seen. But off stage, he controlled everything and everyone with fear. His marriage to Tina Turner was a nightmare. He beat her, manipulated her, monitored her every move, and kept most of the group's money for himself. She survived over 50 beatings, one so severe it ruptured her eardrum. Meanwhile, Ike drowned in cocaine, hosting drug-fueled parties that lasted for days. He carried guns, fathered at least 11 children, and blew through millions. In 1976, after a brutal assault, Tina escaped barefoot with 36 cents and a gas card. Without her, Ike's career collapsed. He was arrested repeatedly in the 1980s for drugs, violence, and hiding cocaine in a piano. He briefly resurfaced with a Grammy in 2001, but the world hadn't forgotten. On December 12, 2007, he died from a cocaine overdose mixed with heart and lung disease. Ike Turner helped shape modern music, but his legacy is forever stained by the pain he caused. Marvin Gaye, the Prince of Soul who couldn't escape his own blood. Marvin Gaye wasn't just a singer. He was the heartbeat of a generation. With timeless hits like What's Going On, Let's Get It On, and Sexual Healing, he turned soul music into poetry. What's Going On sold over 2 million copies in 1 year and redefined black music as a voice of protest and healing. But while he healed the world, he couldn't heal himself. Success brought pressure. Pressure brought cocaine. Addiction led to paranoia. He wandered the streets of Los Angeles at night, convinced someone was after him. Meanwhile, his financial life collapsed. He owed the IRS over $4.5 million and went bankrupt. His marriage to Anna Gordy, sister of Motown founder Berry Gordy, ended in fiery divorce, and the court forced him to give album royalties as alimony. That album became Hear My Dear, a brutally honest soundtrack of heartbreak. By the early 1980s, he was depressed, broke, and living with his parents. Worst decision of his life. His father, a strict and abusive preacher, hated him. On April 1st, 1984, one day before Marvin's 45th birthday, his father shot him twice in the chest. The world lost its Prince of Soul in the most tragic way possible, killed by his own father. His music is eternal. His ending is unforgettable. Bobby Womack, the soul genius who set his own career on fire. Bobby Womack was born with music in his blood and drama in his shadow. He started as Sam Cooke's guitarist, then became a solo legend with classics like Across 110th Street and If You Think You're Lonely Now. He wrote hits for the Rolling Stones, Wilson Pickett, and dozens more. He had the talent to be one of the greatest ever. Then he made the most shocking move in music history. Just 3 months after Sam Cooke was murdered, Bobby married Sam's widow, Barbara. Fans were furious. The industry blacklisted him. It got worse. Barbara caught him cheating with her teenage daughter, Bobby's stepdaughter, and shot at him. She missed, but his reputation never recovered. Drugs took over. Heroin burned through his money. He blew over $2 million on drugs, sold personal items for cash, and vanished from the charts. He had the voice of an angel and the habits of a demon. He tried to return in 2012 with The Bravest Man in the Universe, earning critical praise, but it was too late. Years of addiction left him weak, broke, and sick. On June 27, 2014, Bobby Womack died at 70, almost alone. A brilliant artist who helped shape soul music, but destroyed himself with his choices. James Brown, the godfather of soul who couldn't control his demons. James Brown wasn't just an entertainer. He was a force of nature. Papa's got a brand new bag. I got you. I feel good. Get up. I feel like being a sex machine. These songs didn't just top charts. They shaped culture. He rose from poverty to own 17 homes, 3 radio stations, and even a private airfield. He was the blueprint for stage performance. But power made him paranoid. By the 1980s, he was deep into cocaine and PCP. He became violent, reckless, and suspicious of everyone around him. There were whispers of money laundering, mob ties, and mysterious disappearances connected to his circle. The FBI watched him. Then came 1988, the craziest moment in music history. After someone used his bathroom without permission, Brown stormed into an office with a shotgun and then led police on a high-speed chase across 2 states. He was sentenced to 6 years in prison and served 27 months. When he got out, he was a shell of his former self. His voice cracked. His body failed. His temper worsened. Marriages collapsed. Children fought over money. Lawsuits drained his empire. On December 25, 2006, James Brown died weighing just 110 pounds, trembling, surrounded by chaos. He made the world dance, but he could never escape the darkness chasing him. R. Kelly, from I Believe I Can Fly to inmate now 096271. In the 1990s, R. Kelly ruled R&B. His album 12 Play went 6x platinum. I Believe I Can Fly won 3 Grammys and became an anthem around the world. He wrote hits for Michael Jackson, Aaliyah, Celine Dion. He was untouchable. But behind the music was a predator hiding in plain sight. In 1994, he secretly married 15-year-old Aaliyah using a forged document. That should have ended his career, but it didn't. He got bigger. In 2002, a sex tape with an underage girl leaked. The world was horrified. He went to trial in 2008 but was acquitted after buying powerful lawyers and intimidating witnesses. He kept touring, kept releasing hits, all while allegedly locking girls in rooms, abusing them, and cutting them off from their families. Then came the reckoning. In 2019, the documentary Surviving R. Kelly exposed everything. Streaming services removed his music. Sony dropped him. The public turned. In 2021, he was convicted of sex trafficking, racketeering, and abuse. In 2022, he was sentenced to 30 years in prison. The king of R&B is now prisoner 00962-714. Should his music be separated from his crimes, or should his legacy be erased? His fall wasn't just dramatic, it was historic. The stories of these 10 R&B legends remind us that brilliance often walks hand in hand with tragedy. These artists shaped culture, broke barriers, and gave us music that still moves the world. But behind the fame were silent battles, addiction, exploitation, pain, and pressure that success couldn't hide. Some were victims of the industry. Others caused their own downfall. All of them show us one truth. Talent can take you to the top, but inner demons can pull you to the bottom. So what's the lesson? Fame is powerful, but without guidance, healing, and accountability, it can destroy even the greatest. We can admire their art, but we must also learn from their mistakes and their pain. Their voices changed music forever. but their stories should change how we see fame, mental health, and responsibility. Now it's your turn. What do you believe? Should we celebrate their music despite the chaos, or judge them by the lives they lived? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more untold truths on Legends of Black Excellence.